and gentlemen, welcome back to Quincy and Katie's podcast, Fools Are Us. Today is a special edition of our podcast. I believe this is the 4th episode. Today, we are going to do something a little different. As you know, or you may not know, Callie, Annie, and I ran a game of Gun Season 5 of Survivor last Sunday, so about almost a week from today when we're filming. And we wanted to have like a special episode, so we're going to talk to the Jeffs and ask questions and talk about the whole process, and then during the game. And then later on, we're going to talk to some of the contestants, including James Chen. James Chen was the winner. BT Dubs, Deniz, and Quincy. So,
yeah.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah, and also I just wanted to point out, it works perfectly because Katie was leading it, along with Callie and Annie, and I was a fellow contestant with James and Deniz. So we have the perfect... Yes, I did lose.
We have
Thank
a perfect 3-3 balance.
Yeah, we have a perfect balance, so that we can see both sides. Also, just wanted to point out, because I think it's cool, we are currently in the Discord call from the Survivor Discord server, so funness. Yeah. Okay, let's begin.
We love recycling.
We got a few interview questions because we're prepared. So. First question, Katie, Annie, and Callie. When was it decided that you guys would be leading Season 5 of Survivor?
Oh, well, this is a bit of a sensitive subject. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
Okay. I'm not sensitive about it. I know you can cut this out later, so I'm just saying whatever I want. But, we kind of weren't supposed to be the people running the next season of Survivor, but we were. So we kind of just, elbowed our way into it, but at the same time, we thought that we got the okay, but at the same time, some other people didn't think we had the okay. So there was a lot of negotiation trying to do multiple Survivors this summer, but we ended up being...
drama.
So yeah, that's kind of what happened. Did you want to just know how we, got together and became the original trio?
How was this trio formed,
let's do that
the power
story.
trio?
Okay. Someone else can tell that story, because I'm not very inspiring.
I guess I can say it because Callie probably doesn't want to.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Roasted.
Okay, so basically what happened, well, if I recall correctly, it was after the 4th season of Survivor with Quincy and Deniz, James and Noam hosting, and then I think I texted Callie and I was like, oh, I really want to host Discord Survivor sometime. And she was like, me too. And then I was like, let's do it, bitch. Leave that out.
In those exact words.
I'm not leaving that out.
You should replace it with a quack.
Oh my god. We're not getting into the quacks yet. We're not there yet.
Yes. Okay, well, anyway, I was like, let's do it. And then we decided to do it. And then I was like, how about we ask Annie and Seabass, because I know they're really interested. And too, because I think I asked someone who else signed up, who was interested in hosting, and it was a D, Carolyn, Seabass, and Annie, and then a D and Carolyn told us we could do it without them because they want to host later. So I was like, perfect squad. But then Seabass was doing something else, so then it was just me and Annie and Callie.
And Callie.
Yes.
So it is difficult to tell.
What a squad.
Not being in the podcast.
Okay, well, next question, obviously leading off of that, when did you guys officially start planning? Did you have a first session where you sat down and you were like, okay guys, here are some ideas of what we could potentially do, where are we going with this?
Callie, answer this.
Yeah, I feel like Callie should answer this.
Well... This is not a very interesting answer, but after we had our whole discussion about who was going to lead, I feel like it was the day after, or very soon after, and then we FaceTimed, and we had already, Katie and I had already created this 6-page document of random ideas.
Oh my god.
Within a day of the season 4 happening, and then we just went through it. But yeah, we started right away because we were excited.
Okay. I'm also very, very curious. When did you guys start talking about potential themes, and then when did you decide on the theme of time travel, which was a super awesome theme, by the way. I loved it. So yeah, when was that decided? I'm very curious.
We're so cool.
I don't even remember when that was decided. There was some discussion about doing like
what were some other
stuff.
ideas?
Katie had a lot of ideas.
Katie, share.
We should look at the list of themes. They were
I had a lot of Well, okay, the theme I really wanted to do, but then like when time travel was brought up, I was like, that's cooler. I wanted to do, if our season had a lot of returning players, was so the Survivor mantra is outwit, outplay, and outlast. So I wanted to do a theme that was just that, and each tribe was like the outwit tribe, the outplay tribe, the outlast tribe.
That's cool.
Which I feel like would only work if we had returning players that had distinct different ways of playing. Because I feel like in Gun Feeder it's very mixed. I feel like everybody is a great strategic player, but then there's this is random. Also, we had the idea. Also, we were talking about this earlier about heroes versus villains, because that's one of like the most well-known Survivor seasons. That was season 20.
Yeah.
They did that, and arguably, a lot of people think it's the best season. I think it's in my top 5, but we were thinking of doing that, which I think would be so funny.
That would be pretty
awesome. But
obviously,
like with new people, it would be hard to do that.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget the idea: outwit, outplay, outlast, and outmaneuver for the new people.
That was
we wanted
4 tribes.
Oh, really? That's interesting. You were gonna do 4 tribes?
Well, we were gonna do 4 tribes until like I think right when everyone signed up. Like that was our initial plan to do 4 tribes.
Wow, that's
so
cool.
We were gonna start with the 4 seasons, and then
the 4 seasons.
It was gonna be switching tribe names.
We were gonna have a lot of tribe merges. We ended up with just like past, present, and future, which was great too. But initially we had it with like 3 different tribe setups. So we had the 4 seasons, and then we had past, present, future, and then we had like night and day, and then they turned into 1 tribe.
Wait,
but
what? Wait. So you start with 4, like the outwit, outplay, outmaneuver.
This is
the 4 seasons, the actual like spring, summer. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah.
So would it be 4 to 3 to 2 to 1? Is that how you would do it?
Yeah.
That's
That was the
crazy.
plan.
But then, like, the night before, we only had, like, 19 people, so we were like, okay, scrap that idea. And then we created the whole schedule, and then 2 more people signed up, so we changed our minds.
Okay, nice. Well, I do think, I don't remember where, I think I read this in a review, it might have been Peridium, who's a Survivor YouTuber. He was saying...
I love Peridium! Oh my god!
Thank
you for talking about him. He's my favorite
There's a Survivor YouTuber?
Oh my god,
There's a lot of Survivor YouTubers.
What do they do on their YouTube
They,
channels?
like, talk about
He
Survivor.
just reviews a bunch of, like, Survivor stuff and has theories about new seasons. He's amazing. I love him.
Okay,
Everybody go subscribe.
Okay, well, let's try to stay on task, Katie. What I was gonna say, I do think that 2 swaps, and I believe he said this as well, is generally not as good. It depends, but generally what happens when there's 2 swaps is that come merge, people go back to what their initial roots were. That's happened most seasons where there've been 2 swaps, where whatever tribe they started on, that's the tribe that... It's just very easy to remember, oh, these were the initial people I started with, these are the people I'll work with. But who knows? It might not have went like that.
Well,
so.
I mean, the idea was to go from 4 to 3 to 2, so every time there's a swap, it's not just like the luck of the draw on what tribe you're on, because there's going to be people from more than 2 different tribes, so it's not just a simple majority-minority, so you have to, like...
No, I mean come merge, though. Merge
yeah, but then
people.
there would be 4 separate groups, so, like, there's still...
Oh, that's
maneuvering.
True. You're very...
That has to
You're
happen.
very true, I was going to say. Okay, good point. Okay, well, what's the next question on our list? Well, you sort of answered this, but it was going to be, what were the first steps you took in brainstorming and creating everything? Was that just like the 6-page long brainstorm document and then narrowing it down? What were? Can I just ask for the fans? What were some of the other ideas that you had, like advantage-wise, or what were some challenges, if you had challenges that you decided not to do? Yeah, want it. What's the tea?
Well, I don't know that we exactly narrowed it all down into challenges and stuff. We just had elements we wanted to include. I think we ended up using a lot more than I expected.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think we ended up using as much of the chimp test, which we mentioned.
Chimp test.
We didn't have Rubik's Cubes. We didn't have, find the keyword stuff. Oh, we did have find the keyword. We had the Shakespeare thing.
What's the Shakespeare thing?
The Shakespeare thing was part of an advantage. We didn't have a lot of Sporkle, but we did have the fraction thing or hangman. We didn't do the game Ghost. We wanted to do Ghost. We wanted to try a poem writing one with writing a limerick or a poem and then judge each other, but that was really hard to figure out how to grade.
And we also had to get rid of Quizlet. I was excited for Quizlet.
Oh yeah, we had some challenges that we were starting to make, but then we ditched. We were gonna do Quizlet live.
Political compass quiz.
Yeah,
where you take a quiz about politics and try to get as close to a certain result as possible.
That's so
But they
funny.
were all really long or really gameable.
We were gonna do we were gonna do a guess that song challenge, but then I got too lazy, and then it was gonna be too long.
That was a fun challenge, but it was really long.
Yeah.
And
it was hard to figure out what songs are fair, I guess.
Yeah. We were also gonna do the Fictionary thing.
Oh yeah.
The what?
We're gonna play Fictionary is a game where you are given a pretty lesser known word and everyone has to make up a definition and you get points if people pick your fake definition. It's like Vibbage sort of.
Yeah, it sounds like a game I know.
I thought about doing Love Letter, but that's
only 4 players.
Love Letter.
You could do a Love Letter
Codenames,
tournament.
but too long.
Codenames, you said?
Also, I wanted to include the New York Times crossword.
She really did.
That's pretty funny.
We wanted to do a logic puzzle about similar to the Harry Potter potions thing.
Oh,
I'm just reading through the original giant brainstorm.
Wait, the Harry Potter potions thing. What's the Harry Potter? When in the actual? Okay.
Yeah, in the actual books, when they're supposed to figure out what potion is safe to drink, and you read through a rhyming puzzle. But I wasn't very inspired on that.
Yeah.
We did technically do rhyming puzzles.
You did?
Oh wait, no, but the rhyming puzzle
never was put on. Yeah, so here's another question. Exile was a huge part of the game, much bigger. I think a lot of the bigger fans of Survivor were pretty confident that Exile was going to be in play, and I was 100% sure that Exile was going to be in play. But I don't think most of us. I don't think most of us realized it was going to play as big a part as it did. So when did you guys?
It actually didn't, because the 2 people who found idols didn't even use them.
Well, yes, but I didn't realize. I wasn't thinking that it would be played throughout the whole game. It was. When was the last time someone was sent? Final 6?
Yeah, it was before the second person was sent into Edge.
Yeah,
at that point everything was found, so it didn't.
Yeah, that is true, but still. How did you guys decide on Exile, and how did you decide how to format it? Because it was pretty cool. I was never actually sent to Exile, but I think as you guys know, the day after Survivor, I spent almost 3 hours finding all the stuff that was hidden there, and it was very fun, and it was super cool. So how did you guys do all of that?
Just Exile?
Did we decide on doing it, or how did we do it?
I don't remember if this was completely accurate, but I think I was the one who was really pushing the Exile idea. It might have been Callie brought it up, but
no, Katie, you definitely brought it up. But I think we all agreed that it was a good idea.
It wasn't me because I don't know anything about Survivor.
Yeah.
I think we're really pushing it, and one thing I was pushing was that Exile can be. It's the way you use Exile is important, and so I want to do it every other time, because that's how they do it in the game, so it doesn't get too overused. But then I think later in the game we decided to have it one more time than we were originally going to have it.
Okay.
Which I think worked out, because I think I overestimated the people who would be sent to Exile finding the idols. Because, like, I knew Deniz would be able to find it, and James and Quincy if you were sent. But, like, some of the other people, they didn't really know how to Survivor. So I think I overestimated that. So I'm glad we added a second part to that. Well, a eighth time the Exile.
Yeah. And I also think just the whole idea of advantages online is so cool, because in Survivor, it's never like that. It's either you find an idol or you find a clue that tells you you have to look somewhere or you have to do something. But online, you guys created these huge, really fun, crazy hunts. Like the advantages that, I'm trying to remember, the advantages that I found, the first one, the first idol, was not super hard to find. You had to find a link in one of the challenge documents and then solve a puzzle and then go to a Facebook page and find something there. But then I remember the extra vote was a pretty big, there were like a lot of steps to that, and then there were a lot of steps to the second extra vote.
Quincy, I'm really sorry. Could you give me like a few minutes, because I'm coughing a lot and I want to get a cough drop. And also maybe check my temperature.
Yeah. Again.
And we're back.
We're back. I don't remember where
you were talking about walking or something.
I think we were talking about Exile, right? Were we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, anyway, Exile was very cool. All of the advantages were super awesome to see.
That was my favorite part of planning.
Yeah. I mean, the hunts were super fun to do afterwards. And the hunts in-game, oh my god, the hunts in-game, so stressful, because you were balancing talking to people while also trying to, like, focus on doing different things, which was not easy, because, like, when I was doing them, I was like, I know that Deniz and James are doing them right now. I need to get it before that they do it, but I also need to make sure that I'm not going home this round. So, lots of multitasking happening there, which is not normal in Survivor, generally. Anyway, next thing. Okay, so, I remember, I think all of you, or Callie and Katie definitely said this to me, that you guys said that you had planned most of the stuff out, but you would have a lot of stuff to do the week of Survivor. So what were all the things that, like, all of a sudden you had to do and you could only do, like, the week before?
I think, well, there's a lot of stuff depending on how many people were playing. And we didn't even know that till, like, very, very last minute. And so I think that was the main of it. And then also we had to finish doing confessionals. And, like, a lot of the stuff we had, like, we made everything, but we, like, had to finalize everything and, like, run through it. Because a lot of the stuff, like, a lot of the challenges we tested, like, at the very beginning of starting to plan it. And then we didn't get to it until, like, a week before. So we had to, like, make changes and stuff.
And it's a good thing
Callie
we did,
and Annie can elaborate.
I feel like a lot of the things we tested, we found all these gaping problems in them that we wouldn't have found if we hadn't retested.
Yeah.
I'm still angry that the slide puzzles didn't work.
Well, yeah.
Not that it would have mattered.
Like, one problem, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, you guys did a great job troubleshooting the very few problems that you had, and I was very surprised by how few there were.
Yes, I was pretty impressed with the not arguing. That was
pretty amazing. Okay. Now, the very interesting question. This is something that has always happened to me. The night before Survivor, when I'm planning Survivor, I remember I've planned season 2 and season 4. So for season 2,
you have?
Shut up. Okay, for season 2, Callie and I were up so late until like 4 or 5 in the morning, doing, like, I remember I, like, made a whole challenge, like, starting at 3 a.m. And it was the final immunity challenge I planned starting at 3 a.m. I was like, okay. Time to get to this final immunity challenge. What is it going to be? So that was very last. I
don't remember this.
What? You don't remember?
Well,
this?
we had a vague idea of, like, what it was.
Yeah, we had a vague idea. We were like, we want to do it where they run to different stations, and then that was, like, the whole idea. So then
And then there's going to be
Yeah, there was an anagram at the end. And then for season 4 of Survivor, we were late super last night. We were up super late the night before. I probably fell asleep at like 5:20 maybe. No, I think it was a little bit later actually, because we were planning. We were like writing a ton of last minute speeches. We were trying to make sure that we knew everything that was going on. We were gonna do a run through, and then we didn't really because we were like it was already so late. So that was all, and we also we made like 2 or 3 challenges the night before as well.
Oh my god!
So, and then also as a contestant, for season 1 it doesn't really count because we all just said, oh, we're gonna stay up. But for season 3, it took me so long to fall asleep. And this last season, it took me a fair amount of time to fall asleep too. So what was it like for you guys the night before Survivor? Like, how were you guys up late planning, or were you unable to fall asleep because of all the stress about what was going to go on the next day? What was it like?
I think we finished planning at like 10:30.
Ridiculous.
No.
We finished at midnight.
Wait,
we did
really?
the run through. We finished planning at 10:30, but then we did a run through that took like till midnight.
Oh, okay. Well, clearly I don't remember. Oh, yeah, you're totally right. Oh my god, yes, you're so right.
Walked it out.
After that,
lucky.
I feel like I did not stay up. I wasn't really worried about it because I felt like we were fine.
Yeah,
I couldn't sleep for about an hour because I was stressed, but I moved rooms and then I was able to sleep.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to remember stuff. I don't think I was worried. I was just very tired. And okay, so this is really weird. But sometimes when I'm really tired, I can just never go to sleep. It's really wacky. Like I'll be exhausted and I just can't go to sleep. It's weird. But that's what happened to me.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it is. It is weird being a leader, but hey, sounds like you guys got more sleep than previous planners. So congrats.
Ow.
Okay, well, I don't really have more questions because that was all the pregame stuff. But what was it like while you were leading it in the game? And how were you like, I assume you all had a ton to manage and you all had to communicate. So what was all that craziness like? Wow, pretty crazy, clearly.
I actually didn't find it that crazy, personally.
Oh,
Callie
really?
go first, then Annie, and then I'll go last.
I mean, it was kind of just fun. We had like a pretty detailed plan on who was doing what, and then when you weren't doing anything, it was kind of chill. Like, I felt like there wasn't that much to do behind the scenes because we had planned it out so well. I mean, as the time ticked on and like we kept getting a little bit more behind, it was a little stressful, but we always knew we were going to be a tiny bit behind. So I think ending only 2 hours late was pretty impressive.
Was it 2 hours?
I mean, we started Final Tribal at like 9:30 or 9:45.
Okay.
And then it lasted until 10:30 or 11.
I think 10:30-ish.
I'm pretty sure it was later than 10:30, but maybe not all the way till 11.
Hey guys, do you know how long this is going to take? Because if I tell my mom, she's going to want to have a call with me as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, how long do you guys...
Is it like an hour?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
okay, that's fine.
Is it really going to be 30 minutes? What else do we have to say?
I don't think it'll be 30 more minutes, probably. Because, I mean, I don't know what else you guys want to talk about, but we're going to probably combine this with the talk with James and Dennis, and we don't in total.
I'm not trying to like rush things.
No. You're totally fine. I think in total we want it to be a little bit over an hour probably, and right now we're at 24 minutes, so probably like 15 more minutes. I don't know, something like that.
But it's also better if we have like more material.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah. So that was Callie. That was your view. What was it like for you, Annie, to be doing everything? Yeah, while it was happening.
Like planning or the day of?
The day of. The event.
I did like write a Facebook post about how it was. It started off kind of like rocky, I guess, for me, because I wasn't sure how to act as a Jeff. I haven't seen the show. I don't know what Jeff Probst's personality is like. And I didn't want to come across as really egotistical and sure of myself, or like weirdly cruel for no reason. Like, I love seeing you guys suffer and outwit and outplay, and like I don't know. But it got easier over time, because I think mainly it helped that we just spent so much time on it. Like, I knew what to expect vaguely, and I always had like something to do, so I never felt like I was just like there to entertain people and nothing else, you know? I guess that was the experience I had with it. And also, like, Katie and Callie were great the whole time. We were very on top of things. I did have a few moments where, like, things went wrong or not as planned, and I was like, ah! So, that happened. But, for the most part, it was very fun.
Yeah. And Katie Brown?
Sorry, I'm cleaning my room and my ass hurts. Sorry.
Okay, good to know, Katie. Good to know, because that was related to what I asked.
Okay, honestly, I was pretty calm throughout the whole part, I guess. I think, like, I'm a very, like, I can get stressed out really, really easily. And so I think I was, like, but, like, when I'm stressed out, it isn't, like, necessarily bad. I think that's just how I, like, work through my life. Like, I work through stress, and, like, stress helps me, like, be productive. So I think it was just, like, a good type of stress. And I wasn't panicking a lot. I mean, I really don't remember any times, like, we had, like, a couple small, like, things, but I don't remember anything, like, catastrophic or anything really bad happening. And so I think that also helped.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. I was also gonna say, I don't remember what I was gonna say. Damn it.
That's a no.
Quincy's a loser.
Quincy is a loser.
I feel like that point is not highlighted enough on this podcast.
What point? Oh, the point that I'm a loser?
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to highlight it more. Okay?
That's right, Katie can.
Shut up.
Katie, this is just some fan feedback for, like, future podcasts.
What?
That she should highlight that you're a loser
no, you
more.
should not. And also, you're not a fan. You don't listen to the podcast.
I'm a fan without even having to listen.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
It just means it's her trying to make herself not look as bad. Here's a question for you guys. Based on the experience that you had as being Jeffs, would you want to be Jeffs again? And if so, would you prefer to do it online, in person, either or, both, and neither, nor, and
please shut
or?
up.
Yes.
Quincy,
Sorry,
please
can you
shut
repeat
up.
that? I didn't get it.
just if you were sorry.
So funny.
Okay. If you were to be would you want to be a Jeff again? And if you would you want to do it online, or would you want to do it in person, or would you want to do both, or would you want to do some other version?
We get it.
Yeah.
Ooh, some other version. That would be
version.
Interesting. What other version could there be?
The other version could be you play,
like, college classes.
It could be like you play it like you play it like over the course of many days. There's plenty of ways we could take it. You could play it over the course of many days.
So
you could
we have more ideas.
Yeah.
Well,
you could play it. Here's an awesome idea.
Who wants to go for? Well, do you just want to advertise your
Survivor
ideas, Quincy?
Here's one awesome idea that I just came up with after asking this question. What if we simulated it being online, sort of, but not really. This is also sort of inspiration from the TV show Love is Blind on Netflix.
What?
So basically,
I'm making a confused face.
Basically, everyone gathers at one place, and then they're just blindfolded for the whole day.
That's super weird. How would you do anything?
It's like you do only blindfolded challenges. Why would we
combine Reddit with not Reddit? Why would
that
we
would
combine
actually
Survivor
be insane.
with The Voice?
Dude, we should even if this isn't Survivor, we should do some sort of like a blindfolded activity where you're just blindfolded for like an entire day. Don't you think that would be super fun?
That would be very exciting. Also, so like
maybe
when you
not
have
for
to,
the whole day.
yeah, maybe not for the whole day, but for a while.
That would be crazy.
And like so then people guide you back to your camps. And then once you get to your camps, you like just have to figure out like somewhere to sit down or something, and then you all just talk. Like you have to figure out how to talk, sort of, and hopefully not hurt yourself. And then you're like guided to challenges, and all the challenges are blindfolded challenges, and blindfolded challenges are the best challenges anyway. So that works great. And then looking for idols.
Really
Imagine looking for idols. You have to like feel around everywhere, but it would just be like an idol just like on the ground somewhere. So it's very easy to find, but you have to get there and you have to like feel around for it. That would be crazy. That would be amazing. So, new idea.
I would not participate if this happened.
I still think it would be cool to lead social distancing Survivor, where we all like go to a park and then you have to do everything from 6 feet apart. Like, you'd have to be creative coming up with these challenges.
It could be...
That would be
how
pretty
would
insane.
you communicate?
I mean, you just talk from, like, 6 feet apart.
Can you not talk 6 feet forward?
But, like, if you're strategizing...
That would be fun, but it's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
we don't
because people would not...
Yeah,
no, I agree.
We don't need more social interaction than we already have.
I agree that it would not be a good idea, like, if we were in quarantine. But it could also just be a weird thing where it's like,
just do it
after Corona, it's just like, okay, guys, we're going to do Survivor, but you have to be 6 feet apart.
To celebrate being out of social distancing, we do more social distancing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean,
although
also...
I did have a crazy dream about doing a water balloon fight from 6 feet apart. That would be really fun.
Well,
I actually did that, so...
Aren't water balloons always from 6 feet apart?
Yes.
Aren't they what?
Aren't they always 6 feet apart?
Ow,
I mean, not necessarily. You could point blank someone.
That's true.
And you get closer and further.
Yeah. The one good thing, I also did want to point out, there is one good thing about the social distanced Survivor, which is Season 2 Survivor, when it was in real life, it was impossible to record at least half of the conversations, because everyone would pull someone aside, they'd walk 20 feet away from everyone else, and then they'd whisper, and it's like, you don't need to whisper, you're 20 feet away.
Okay, the videos were good, though.
The videos were manageable, but just saying, it was very frustrating at the time, because everyone was talking super quietly.
Quincy's frustrated.
The game is more important than the footage.
That is true. But I'm saying social distance-wise, it's obviously going to be loud enough for the cameras to pick it up. So, plus side there.
I literally hate Quincy. Hashtag cancel Quincy.
So back to the question.
Let's talk about the question.
We sidetracked a little bit there. Yes. So, would you guys want to be Jeffs again?
I could go first if no one else wants to go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Should I go? Okay. Well, I'd like to do it again. I have ideas and such I had little ideas occasionally during the last week or two of Survivor that I feel like would be fun in another game. But I don't know if it would be immediately, and I don't know if I'd want to do it online again. I feel like online I've kind of extracted everything I could do. I mean, I'm sure there's more stuff you could do online, but I feel like a lot of that's been tried out. There's only so much you can do through Discord, through online stuff. So I wouldn't want it to be predictable, I guess. In person could be fun. I think I'd want to do it with other people, because just having someone to bounce ideas off of and work together on stuff, I think it makes a richer, cooler game, and it's also a lot easier if you can spread out the work. But I don't know. I'm also kind of Survivor it out. I think Survivor is really cool, but it's not my favorite thing to do ever, I don't watch the show. I've watched the show before and I think it's fun, but it's not oh my gosh, Survivor, it's the best. So,
yeah.
I feel like if it was a thing, I'd want to try other group game show activities, or not even game show activities. Maybe we could host. I think it would be really fun to do the Amazing Race. I've thought about running an Amazing Race thing, or we could run a Jeopardy type thing. I don't know. But I don't know. I think we could open up the playing field.
Guys,
I guess.
Ready.
And I'd be interested in
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know there's plenty of people who haven't gotten their chance yet, and I really don't want my second time running to be before anyone else has gotten their first.
Yeah, she just roasted me.
Carolyn and Adi should go first.
What?
Seabass and Colin and Armand should do their thing, although Armand's already done one. But they should do their thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Also, great idea. Not during COVID, obviously, but Big Brother. Can you imagine?
That's the same thing.
No.
I've actually never watched Big Brother, so
but could you imagine? No. But the whole point about Big Brother is it's the whole summer. So could you imagine renting out a summer beach house, getting everyone from Gunn Theater to live there?
Yeah, no.
And play Big Brother all summer long.
That's not happening.
So epic. So epic.
First of all, I hate Big Brother because
I don't like
unlike Survivor, it's really toxic because you're just in the house for the whole summer, and I feel like Survivor
people would be too busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Survivor,
sure.
Also, houses are really expensive.
Yeah, no, it would not work. I'm just saying it would.
I mean, I have a shed. I have a shed, but one person can stay in there.
See, Survivor is treated more like an adventure of a lifetime to discover yourself. And Big Brother, I feel like it's more in the vein of a reality show than Survivor is, because of course Survivor is a reality show, but Big Brother is treated like a reality show. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Ugh, I want to do Amazing Race so bad. Somebody needs to plan it, okay?
Katie.
Well, Quincy and I were thinking of doing it if you guys would like to help.
Oh, but then I can't go with Quincy. It's his social distancing.
What do you mean
makes
go with?
sense for us to be partners. How would you do partners?
Try
would you want to be partners with me?
So.
Well, I don't know. I guess when I was thinking about it, we're we wouldn't have to social distance. But then, obviously, other people have the same problem.
Yeah, I
so
think...
you'd have to figure it out.
I mean, what we could also do is someone could figure out a social distance Amazing Race, and then we could do another...
Amazing Siblings.
I
was thinking you could, send proof and pictures as you go along, and then, record your time, and then it's just time attack, one at a time. But that might not be as fun as everyone doing it at the same time, so who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, also, the more the merrier, so we could just do one, and then we could do another one where it's everyone going at the same time once, quarantine's over, so, maybe during winter break or next summer.
Amazing Races.
Yeah.
Wow.
Corona will never be over, Quincy.
Yeah, but I feel like we need to make them two different ones.
No, yeah.
You can't just repeat it, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say it's the same.
Yeah.
So, Annie answered that. Callie and Katie, would you guys host for a third time Survivor?
KT, you want to go?
Answer first, Callie.
Oh, okay. I mean, I thought it was super fun. I don't think I could do online again, though, just because I've exhausted all my ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, in person, I think it would be fun. I feel like it would probably be more fun to play in person, unless there was no edge, in which case... maybe I would rather plan, because then I'm guaranteed to have a day of fun, whereas if I'm playing and I get voted out, it's just so sad.
Yeah.
So I feel like there needs to be an edge.
It was pretty sad for me, because I was so excited the whole time. I was like, okay, well, if I get voted out, I'll be chilling. I'll get to do fun challenges on the edge. But I was voted out, and then we immediately had to get back into the game challenge, which, of course, I did not win, because I'm a loser. And then I was so sad, not because the game was over, but more importantly because I didn't get to do anything on the edge, and then I was like, I just got voted out, and there was an edge this game, but I didn't even get to really participate, and I was sad about that.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally it would be if you made it that far in the game, you got most of the content we had in the game anyway.
Yeah, that is true. I did feel happy about that.
And also... the vibe I got on the edge was that they were not, having a blast the whole time. We tried to put a lot of stuff in there, but I feel like because most of the time the Jeffs were in game and there's just less urgency, it wasn't, a super... the edge was not as fun as in game, I'm pretty sure. I think most people did not find it that fun.
I mean, a lot of the people chose to not go to the edge, and, you just got voted out, so, obviously you're not going to be very happy. And here comes
the most active the edge was when a person was voted out. They just really wanted to know what was happening in game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we had a little bit of a hard time on the edge in our season as well, just because people were tired, and also our game went way later, so people were staying there for a long time. So it was tougher, I think, than it would be in normal Survivor.
It's tough to make a fun edge.
Yeah, it is.
I think we did okay.
Yeah.
I tried to spend some time there when I didn't have anything to do, which wasn't often, but I just go in and ask some questions and
Yeah,
I kind of chilled there sometimes.
Yeah, I chilled on Exile sometimes. That was fun. But anyway,
I imagine.
Also, dude, I kind of changed my mind. In answer to this question, I feel like I wouldn't want to lead in person.
Oh.
Well, I don't even know. I really enjoyed leading. I really enjoy leading, but especially online, I thought leading was super fun. I just wouldn't be able to generate ideas. But in real life, I just kind of suck at leading. My voice is so quiet that it's kind of impossible. So I think I'd rather just play.
That's fair.
And not do a crappy job, even though I have fun leading.
Yeah, I think personally as well. Sorry, I'm also answering this question very quickly. I think I would want to play the next in-person one just because Deniz's I did play, but also it felt like there were so few challenges, and I did not make it very far in that. So I feel like I've never had a true in-person Survivor experience, and I'm so excited for hopefully when that will happen, because I think it'll be super fun. And I agree, it is pretty hard to Jeff, and it's much easier online than it is in person to be Jeff, especially because in person it's very hard to get people's attention.
I think it'd be useful to have a Jeff team and a camera team, to have them separate.
Yeah, that's true.
Although for filming, we were pretty successful for filming.
That is true.
You really were. I don't know. Maybe it would be easy. But for me personally, I don't know. I think it would be hard to focus on both and do a good job on both.
Yeah.
I can see the appeal, although I don't know who would really want to be the camera team.
Yeah. They do get to watch more of what's happening, though. That's true. As Jeff's, it's hard to keep up with the strategy.
It just seems like if you're gonna give up your day to work on Survivor, why wouldn't you want to just play?
Have a Jeff team and then have half of them be running the show, and then have half of them be focused on camera work. They all created the game, but some of them are more leadery, and some of them are more behind the scenesy.
Yeah. Also, I did want to ask, because I do think that this is maybe as a final question, unless you guys have any final things.
Oh wait, should I answer the?
Yeah. Sorry, Katie, go for it.
Thanks, Quincy. I really appreciate it. What was the question?
Oh my god. The question was...
Would you want a Jeff again?
Yeah.
And if so, online?
Okay.
And, would you want to do something else Survivor-related or not Survivor-related?
Okay, here's my answer. I don't think I'm going to ever host online again. And I don't even think I'll play a Survivor game online again. I don't know, I'm just very, it takes a certain stamina to play 12 hours online 3 times, and I don't think I can do that again.
Yes.
And so, I probably would not host again online. In person, I definitely would want to play again in person, but also, I would be down hosting, because I feel like my time is up to win the game. And so I feel like hosting would be fun. Also, I would like to do an amazing race thing. I think Quincy and I were talking about this a while back, about doing that. I think it was even before quarantine started. And then I think it's really awesome how Survivor really brought together all these gun feeder people and people not from gun feeder, and so I think it would be really fun to do something similar, Amazing Race, or I don't have any better ideas.
We should totally have just a brainstorming session of reality TV shows that we can bring to life in gun theater. I mean, come on, that's so fun.
Bachelorette, guys, Bachelorette.
Let's do Love Island.
Oh my god.
No.
This is horrible. Please no.
That would be uncomfortable.
How about Hunger Games? That's not a reality TV show.
Hunger Games, that could be cool.
I feel like that could be cool if we can come up with something.
Let's murder each other, yes.
Well, obviously not.
Actually, okay, no. I changed my mind. That would probably be too stressful. I mean, it's kind of like Fugitive.
It's like,
it
reminds me of, like, it reminds me of
oh, wait, no, we should play, what is it? It's called Assassin. I don't know if you've heard of it. I played it with my friends a couple times in Philly. But basically, it's kind of like a murder mystery thing. So, like, we all take, like Polaroid. Well, actually, no, it's not like a murder mystery thing. I don't know why I said that. So we all take, like, a Polaroid picture of ourselves, and so we have, or just like a picture of ourselves, and we have it on a lanyard, and then you have 5 minutes. The way I did this, we did this like on a block in the city. But you could do this like around Palo Alto. You have like a picture on your lanyard, and then you have 5 minutes to run, and then you have to get other people's pictures, and then once you like take someone else's picture, they're dead, and then they go back to headquarters, and then whoever gets all the photos at the end wins.
Wait,
so
what?
I don't exactly get it.
I don't get it.
We don't need to go into.
Wait, how do you actually get their photo?
It's kind of like, I would say it's kind of like Fugitive, but everybody is on foot.
Huh.
And
Sounds like
in order to kill someone, you have to grab their picture from their lanyard.
Oh. So it's like tag.
It's like violent tag.
Yeah. Kind of.
We should.
But it's like a round. It's like not just like in like a field. It's like a round.
That's
like
pretty
flag
cool.
football.
Dude, we should totally do murder mystery though. Wouldn't that be so fun?
How would that work?
I don't know, but they have all these murder mystery nights.
Like you come up with a mystery and then you have to find the clues and who's guilty or something, or what?
Yeah, that would be. And it's
cool.
theater, so you could like.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I can only imagine. That would be terrifying.
Like Shannon.
We could do it in a fake train. It's like an escape room.
Yeah, it could be like an escape room combined with a murder mystery. I mean,
like
now I'm just thinking about escape rooms.
Had like I went to her like murder mystery party like a couple years ago, and that was really fun. But she like bought she didn't make it up. She like bought it like murder mystery kit.
I'm not sure how we'd figure out who's guilty. If it would be obvious it was one of us if we were acting in it, and we can't like choose someone to be guilty and make them be the murderer. I don't know.
Well, yeah, we would have to. We give everyone a card that like has their info on it.
Or well, yeah. I think that would be super epic. And like everyone has to act out their particular role, like while trying to figure it out. Yeah, that would be awesome. Anyway, sorry, we got a little bit off topic there. I did have one final question. It's not like a great wrapping up question, but I was curious about this. In this last game, how well were you guys able to keep up with all the strategy that was going on?
Not well.
I hate you.
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I got most of my info at Final Tribal.
Nice. Okay.
I feel like I got a decent amount of it, like throughout the game, personally.
So were you guys aware? Well, you guys knew about advantages, so you knew that. Wait, were the only advantages held in that game from me, Dennis, and James?
Yup.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Wow, that is crazy. Okay.
I feel like that was one of the hardest things about planning, was like trying to find the balance between making it hard enough that Quincy, James, and Dennis won't find them like that, and then making them easy enough that anyone else will be able to find them.
I don't know if that's possible,
Clearly,
guys.
we failed.
Yeah. Well,
we failed.
I think it's a good transition that me, James, and Dennis found all the advantages to then transition into James and Dennis. So, thank you, Callie, Annie, and also Katie, for talking about what it was like being Jeffs. Any last words?
I hate you.
Oh my god.
I'm quitting the podcast.
You better not. Okay, well.
And those were her last words
before
she was
murdered.
murdered.
Before she was murdered.
Then...
Start of the murder mystery. Okay.
Callie murdered me.
Oh my god.
Okay, you were supposed to leave it a mystery.
Thank you for talking with us. And now, let's go speak with James and Dennis. Okay, Katie and I are now with James and Dennis, where we will be discussing what it was like as a participant in Survivor Season 5. Katie, take it away with the questions.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask you some questions about, your personal game, your feelings about the overall game, and just like Survivor in general. So let's get started. Also, I'm just gonna ask a question, and then anyone can answer. You can all answer, or maybe 2 people answer. I don't really care. So do what you want. Okay. My first question was, how was your overall experience, each of you, in the game?
Well, if no one else is gonna go, I can start us off. I was very happy with the game overall. I think going into the game, I was a little bit apprehensive just because there were very few returnees, and it seemed like it would be mostly new people, and I felt like the vibe would be weird because of that. But it turned out that everybody, or mostly everybody, I'd say, took the game pretty well, and it was actually a good cast of characters. And on top of that, the Jeffs did a wonderful job with the twists and the games throughout the game. It was just the game was run very, very well, and although the game did go an hour and a half over its intended time, it still was still run as a very tight ship, and I'd say we ended pretty early compared to the other 2 Survivor games.
That is true.
So overall, very fun and very well run, and props to the Jeffs for making that happen.
Also, so sorry, I forgot to actually introduce James and Dennis. That was James who just spoke. Dennis, want to say hi really quick?
Hello.
Okay, sorry. I felt bad because I didn't give you guys a proper introduction.
Yes.
Let's hear these amazing.
What?
Is that how you're gonna say our name? We don't have any.
Oh, fun fact about you. The fun fact that they actually used in the game. What was that?
Are you asking me?
You want us to say it?
Yes. Introduce yourself with your fun fact.
Oh, my fun fact's a little embarrassing
Oh,
now.
okay. Well, you can switch it if you want.
Well, we can find it on this website.
My
Wasn't your fun fact
was,
something like you're at least 4'2" or something?
No, that was not the one I chose. The one I said was I've done progressively better in each game of Survivor, and I plan to continue that.
Ooh, the big C.
I think in terms of quality of gameplay, I definitely stood true to that.
That's fair. Let's see. I think I said something like in elementary school when I thought everybody had to have a favorite sport. I was like, oh, my favorite sport is soccer. So that was my favorite sport in elementary school.
That's a beautiful fun fact, James.
Thank you.
And also, in case anyone was interested about me, my fun fact was when I was also in elementary school. I think it was kindergarten or first grade. I learned how to ride a bike with one hand, which I think is generally an early age. But up to this day, I'm very bad at riding a bike with no hands. I can do it for short amounts of time, but it's very bad. And yeah, that was my fun fact.
Congrats.
You're really good at riding a bike with somebody else on it.
What?
Perhaps you should learn how to do it one day.
Yeah, hopefully I will. And yes, James, I am quite experienced at
Wasn't that there when you learned how to do that?
With no hand? I'm riding a bike with no hands?
Yeah. Did you do? You were definitely learning something.
I don't remember.
I think
I've never fully learned it. I can just sort of do it.
You were practicing. You were practicing in front of all of us.
Oh, really?
Coaching as we were all hanging out.
Huh, that's fun. I remember when we tried to teach James to ride a bike. That was very enjoyable.
Oh, maybe that was that.
Yeah, that's probably
what also want to be honest.
Yeah. That was I want to be honest.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
The elementary school?
Yes, the elementary school.
Yeah. I think that was there.
I'm mixing up the two bald men in my life.
Okay. Anyway, wait, Kitty, I totally spaced. What was that first question?
How was your overall experience? That was the question.
Well, my experience was great. I had an awesome time. I really had a lot of surprises in that game. I did not really expect to be working with new players. My plan was very returnee centric. I tried not to make too much of a plan because there were a lot of factors that I did not understand at all in this game. But I really was not ever planning to work with new players that much or have them be even though now I guess I was working with returnees. I forget that they're
like Chloe and Sarah are both returnees.
People would return multiple times than people would just play the last game.
Yeah.
With who I was planning to work with, and definitely not planning to work with underclassmen. But in the end, my number one was in fact one of them.
Yeah, Chloe. For me, I also had a blast. I don't think my game was quite up to par with Deniz and James's. It felt like I was sort of scrambling all the time just to stay alive, and it felt like I was always in a threatened position. But I still had a ton of fun. I loved the challenges. They were by far the best challenges of, I think, the online Discords, or Discord games. The advantages were super fun, and I really enjoyed playing with both returning player. I was working more with returning players post-merge, but pre-merge I was working a lot with new players, so it was fun to get a mix of both styles. Yeah.
Awesome. Kind of venturing off into what Quincy said, how did you guys like the challenges in the game? I know none of you were on Edge to experience the Edge challenges, and how are the in-game challenges?
They were definitely very, very enjoyable. I think they were very interesting. I think they were all. I don't know if there was any challenge that I felt that anyone had a significant advantage on, except from that they would already just have skill in general.
Me at Flappy Bird, I was a god. So yeah.
What did you get in Flappy Bird?
34?
34?
Something like that. I had been practicing Flappy Bird, so...
Practicing Flappy Bird?
Yeah.
Someone tell you that Flappy Bird was going to be in the game?
No.
Well, there was the Exile. You could see the...
Well, I was never on Exile. I forget, I may have seen Callie's screen briefly at some point, but I don't remember if it was that or if I was just okay, you know what? Well, she was testing she was testing so many games though at the beginning, and then it was more like I saw her playing Flappy Bird, and I was like, oh, Flappy Bird could be used. That's a classic. I was just trying to practice classic games, so I practiced Tetris just a little bit, and I practiced Flappy Bird. It's not like I mega practiced Flappy Bird. I just practiced it for a little while.
You got 36, so.
Well, whatever.
Like you mega practiced.
Whatever. I did not practice that much. It becomes
Just
easier.
Practiced before. Oh my! You thought I spent time trying to get stuff advantages pre-game, and this guy was over here practicing games.
Okay, wow. It was more of a way of procrastinating doing my A-Push summer homework. So I was just trying to figure out something I could do so that I would not feel as bad when I did not get the work I needed to get done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, personally, I really enjoyed the challenges. I, of course, did not practice anything beforehand because I had no idea what could come up. But I'd say the challenges, like Quincy said, they were really, really fun. Some of my favorites include probably the Taboo challenge.
Yes.
I love Taboo so much. I wish I played it more. That challenge was really fun. And let's see, what are some other notable challenges?
Shopping
the one where I had to play Geometry Dash. I kind of popped off there, and that was fun.
Bro, you barely made it to the end of the first level in time.
How do you know?
Because we were on the same tribe.
Oh, yeah, we were on the same track. I forgot about that.
I was secretly stalking you, James.
That was the first one after the swap, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah,
I was
you missed
practicing
that one.
Geometry Dash on the Exile while that was happening.
Shame.
That is a shame. Jinx. We jinxed at the same time. Well, I think you're forgetting it, but this is one of my favorites. I think probably also because it was the first one, so it's very memorable. Was Shopping List. That was super fun.
Shopping List is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although it was really frustrating just like sitting there and waiting for websites to load, I will admit.
Yeah, if you have a bad connection, it's
better
not
internet.
great. Good one.
Well, I need the better internet for that game.
That's
so.
True. Well, big L there then. Sad. I think we have to give a quick shout out to Katie's quacking challenge.
Yeah.
That was
least favorite, bottom tier.
Yeah,
Definitely
I mean
the most chaotic thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it is not. It was not one of my favorites.
Torture.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was not one of my favorites, but it was one that I will remember for forever and laugh at every time.
That was quite some masterful chaos.
Definitely was. How long did it take you to make that, Katie?
Well, I made that video over like 10 times when we tested it like 9 times.
Wow.
Because I just had different versions of it. But it took me a while. I think that was the thing that took me the longest to make. Actually, no, I take that back. I don't know. Yeah, so kind of on that topic, how did you guys like the advantages? And personal favorites, stories about them? I don't know.
Well, I don't know about the other two, but I have quite a lot to say in terms of advantages.
Go for it.
As most people might know, I am somewhat of a idol enthusiast in this game. The idols and advantages hidden around this game are definitely my favorite part of Survivor as a whole. And so this game, I kind of went into it trying to find as many advantages as I could. Let's see. Let me go through everything I found. So before the game started, there was a pregame advantage, which was a legacy idol that could be played at Final 15, Final 10, and Final 6. And if you were voted out, you would have to pass it on to somebody else. But obviously, I was never voted out. So,
guys, get ready.
I got that.
Get ready for the James flex.
It was actually hidden pretty well, I'd say. The very first clue was hidden very well, at the very least. You had to go to the Survivor rules, then click on a link that brought you to Survivor history document, and then from that history document, you had to click on Katie Brown's name, which brought you to Katie Brown's channel, which brought you to a 30-minute long video where you had to watch the whole thing and piece together a tiny URL, which then brought you to a monoalphabetical substitution cipher, and then send that to Katie. So definitely finding the link to Katie's YouTube channel was the hardest part. And the rest of the video I could easily just watch at 3 times speed, and then piece together the whole link. And I've done a lot of substitution ciphers in my life, so it was not too difficult. And when the actual game started, there was the Timepiece Idol, which I believe the other 2 people in this call found. Basically, hidden in one of the documents, using white text, there would be a link to a jigsaw puzzle, and the jigsaw puzzle basically said, check Kelly Wentworth's Facebook. And this gave me a lot of trouble because for some reason, new Facebook, whenever I searched Kelly Wentworth, it would not return the profile that I was looking for, and just give me like the real Kelly Wentworth. And I spent like a good 10-15 minutes like poking around on real Kelly Wentworth's Facebook profile on their like comments or whatever. I'm trying to find something, and then eventually I had the idea. Or eventually I was like, I'm out of ideas. The last thing I can do is check old Facebook, and thankfully I could find it there. Then after that, what was after that?
There was an extra vote that I got
yes.
L because you couldn't figure out
there was an extra vote.
the cipher.
so the Jeff statuses changed to say something like random messages, but the capital letter said like message or text Annie like face or something. And that brought you to document where you had to like decipher some fake Chinese. And
did you say fake Chinese?
I don't think it was real Chinese.
Well, it's like a real thing language that was created.
Well, but when I asked Annie if it was real Chinese, she said it was not real Chinese.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's real Chinese. I just know it's like, I researched it because I was trying to figure out like a key because I was super confused. And it's a pretty cool thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but it is real something, if not Chinese.
Yeah, I think it is a real, like, yeah, I agree. I think it is a real something. But okay. I don't know. I don't think it was real, like, actual readable Chinese.
Okay, yeah.
And I was working on that, and I realized that Quincy had found the same thing, and so we started to work together on that, but he was just, like, I just, like, messed up in that thing, and, and did not finish before him.
Boom! Got him.
And then, oh, man, there was, oh, shoot. Actually, sorry to be interrupting the middle of this, but I would need to be right back.
Okay.
Sorry, give me a second.
Nice. Well, while James... Oh, actually, yeah, Dennis, you can go for it, if you have anything to say.
I mean, where was he? He was at... Merge.
Yeah, I think the next advantages were merge after that extra vote.
I got because I was in the swap, I did not get on a tribe, so I got an advantage menu there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I also found the Exile Idol there, which was a nice, interesting one where you had to search up on Pinterest and find Tyson Apostle's great Pinterest account and search through that, which was great. Because the first thing I did when I saw the account I was like, nah, this is a fan account. This could not be it. And I just immediately moved on. And which is weird because with the Kelly Wentworth one, I immediately was like, this is them. But
that's
somehow Tyson was just too good for me. But yeah, eventually I found it and I figured it out. And it was good. And then I'll let James explain the idol thing, but I know there's another advantage that he would interact with, which was the one where to get the clue you had to be the last one staying in a chat.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And, I was able to. There were about 5 people in the chat after like 5 minutes. And I was able to convince all of them. And I was talking to them. I was like, you know what? If we're here, we should talk strategy. So I was like, hey, we should all vote. Like, who do you guys want to vote for? Because I was not going to tell them who to vote for. And they were all like, I want to vote for Quincy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's all vote for Quincy. And I was like, you know what? Here. If you guys all leave, I'll give you guys the clue. And they're like, okay. And then they all left and came back. And I was like, okay, they're sending it to me, and we can rendezvous back at the end because I got to go strategize. And then I went with Audie, and I immediately started to figure out the clue. And they never asked me for the clue.
Really? That's so funny.
I can't believe they never asked. They totally just... Yeah. Also, I am partially going to blame Jeffs on this. I don't know who else to blame, but I was under the impression while this game was going on that everyone had left and no one had gotten the advantage.
Why would that be a thing that happened? I think it was pretty clear in the explanation that the last person in that chat would get it no matter what. There was no...
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I left my computer or something. I was just under the impression... I don't remember why. I don't know what I was thinking. But I was under the impression that no one had it. So then when you pulled out that extra vote, I was like, where could Deniz have gotten this from?
Honestly,
yeah.
To be fair, I was also kind of confused because I was on Edge at that point. And so I didn't realize they moved on.
Because I had to, after figuring out a anagram, which Audie helped me with because I had no clue. I was like, okay, these are the letters, and he's like, okay, you go find out who we need to vote for, and I'll figure this out. And so I picked our targets. I came back, and he's like, okay, it's Hourglass, and I was like, lit.
Nice.
And then I saw, and I had to say this nice long phrase about how I didn't trust anyone, and I knew what was going on. I felt I was being lied to my face. I went and I go into chat, and the first thing I do is I'm like, "Hey Jeff," and I say this whole line, and I'm waiting. I'm looking at my inbox. I'm waiting for Katie to text me something, and there's nothing. And I'm just like, wait, did I not do this correctly?
That's so funny. I remember that moment. I can't believe no one realized that was like a line that you had to say in order to get the advantage.
Yeah, because I really did not. Because when I was reading the line, I was reading it out loud to Audie, and I was like, wait, if I read the whole thing out loud to him, he might say it before me and try to get it. Yeah. Which I don't think he would have done. But I still, like, in that moment, I was like, I'm just going to keep the rest to myself. And I didn't read the rest for some reason, because apparently I didn't process that I could just read it without saying it out loud to him.
Yeah.
But,
that was a big play.
I improvised it right on the spot, and I was like, I should have, like, prepared something to say, or, like, any kind of fallback. But I think not explaining it kind of was the best thing that could have happened, because I think everyone was kind of moved on. They were like, oh, okay, Dennis is doing some weird, stupid bit, I guess. Yeah,
I was confused. Like, I remember after you said that, I was like, Dennis, we're fine, we're chilling. Because, I forget how exactly it switched from me, but after, I remember I wasn't actually voted out that tribal. I think it was the one after. That tribal, it ended up being Ariana that was sent home. So I was like, Dennis, you're fine, we're good. And I thought he was, like, worried, but...
That's so
pulled the wool
I was
under
worried
our
for a
eyes.
second because I was worried that somebody might switch their vote because I had done this outburst.
Ooh.
I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I was like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
I immediately started to pedal, but we were chilling.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I did want to also point out while James is gone, because he can explain some more advantages. I did want to say I was so sad, and Katie, I think you can attest to this, because I was looking pretty hard for a pregame advantage. And I could not find one anywhere. I was like trying everything, and then when the documents were sent out, I was like, okay, what can I do? So I didn't search for a really long time, but I was like actively trying to find that pregame advantage, and I did not think to look in the comments section on that document, which I really should have, because I saw that we could comment, and in my head I was like, this is weird, I should probably tell one of them that we can comment, but I think I just forgot to, and I didn't think I thought that you guys had just made a mistake. So I didn't think to check comments. So one of my biggest regrets, especially because I could have played it at Final 6. But, oh well. Also, Dennis, can I just ask really quick, what was on your advantage menu? Because that was never played, right?
Well, the advantage menu was, I had to choose right then which one I wanted before leaving Exile.
Okay.
And it was either an extra vote, you have immunity before the vote. So everyone knows that you're immune.
Yeah.
And it's like an individual immunity thing, or you get an advantage in a challenge your tribe does.
What do you?
And I was like, I don't really need a tribe advantage because I don't see I don't really see the value in that because I don't think losing numbers on my tribe was really that big of a problem for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think individual immunity would matter because if I felt that I was going to get voted out, I would rather have. I already have an idol, and I don't think. It's that useful to. And actually, did I have the idol then? I don't think I had the idol then. But I just don't. I'd rather.
No, you definitely did.
For the extra. No, because I got it at the end of my stay in Exile.
Oh, that idol. I thought you meant time traveling idol. Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah, I had the time traveling idol. You're right. Yeah. So I was like, I already have one idol, and I'd rather because if you have one idol, the thing about idols is the whole game is a numbers game. So even if you have an idol, you're still losing a number if you're in a situation where you're down. So I'd rather try to keep a number than try to keep myself safe.
Yeah, of course.
So I went for the extra vote.
So you ended up taking the extra vote, and then you saved it until you used it against me, right?
No, that extra vote disappeared at merge.
Oh, so did you ever use it?
That whole menu expired at merge.
Never needed it.
Wow. Yeah, so you never used
extra vote or the extra idol.
What?
I did not need that vote or my
your time traveling. Yeah, popping off, dude. Didn't need 2 advantages. Yeah. Overall, about advantages, because it's good that we're going in detail because it's fun to talk about them. But like overall advantage-wise, I just thought it was so well created. You guys had all of these crazy different paths. For every advantage, you had to really work hard. And it was a lot of fun working on them while the game was going on. I mean, I only worked on... I mean, the time-traveling idol was pretty easy, so I didn't even really work on that for that long. But the extra vote was super fun, and then the two other advantages that James ended up getting before me, being the second extra vote and also the evicted and restricted advantage, those were both also super fun to work on. So I thought overall they were really great, and I thought they were about the right level of difficulty. And I think I already said this when we were interviewing Annie and Callie, but Dennis, it turns out I don't know if you've realized this, but if you haven't, James, you and I are the only ones that got any advantages in the game, which was sort of epic.
Yeah.
It does. I do think I think we discussed that tonight.
Oh, did we? Oh, maybe I realized it
mentioned.
just in a Discord. I don't remember, but yeah, I think that's epic.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I don't think that's too crazy surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably the most experienced, I would say. Xander as well.
I would agree.
Sorry about that, folks. My plants were dying, so I had to go water them.
How long did you water? That was a long watering of plants.
He takes care.
Yeah, the plants need a lot of water, so...
Of course.
Sometimes it's like that.
Okay.
Are we still on the topic of advantages, or have we moved on?
We are. If you want to quickly just continue with them, if you want to. We didn't really talk about the ones that you found post-merge.
Wait, you did or did?
Did not.
Okay.
Yeah, post-merge, there were, again, quite a few advantages to be found. I found, in the picture of the Survivor clock, which is the surprise prize of this season's Survivor, there was a tiny URL which led to a spreadsheet where you had to answer facts about Shakespeare plays, and then text something to Annie. And I realized again that Quincy had found this, and so we were kind of working together on that for a little bit, but it was a scramble basically.
Whatever. We were supposed to be working together on the two advantages, and then we were each going to take one.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So, basically immediately after, like a challenge or two after, there was the quacking challenge. And within the quacking challenge of the comments, because in every video that was sent, I immediately looked at the comments. That is the first thing that I looked at. Actually, description first, and then comments. I looked at the comments and saw that Katie Brown had posted a bunch of random garbage comments, and I'm like, oh, there's something here. And then in one of the comments, there was a reply by, I don't remember who the profile was. Sarah, yes. There's a reply by Sarah, and I went to her YouTube channel, and within her channel description, I think it was, there's a tiny URL which led to a slide puzzle, and I think this was the biggest mistake of my game. I saw the slide puzzle and was like, oh no, I can't do slide puzzles whatsoever. I need help here. Obviously, like, I tried it for a minute or two, but just like Tony and Kagayan, I was just shifting pieces left and right, and it was not working out for me. And so in a desperate attempt to not let the advantage go to somebody else, me and Quincy were in a call, or in a voice channel, and we talked about the other advantage, the one on the spreadsheet, and I was like, hey, I need help on this other advantage that I found, which has the slide puzzle. Go here to this tiny URL, and he was like, okay, I'll help you with this advantage, and you can have the reward for this advantage. And then you help me with the other one and give me the reward for that one. I was like, okay, fair deal. And in my head, I was like, wait, I really don't want to be locked in this deal. I want both advantages for myself.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I made a panicked mistake. And so I eventually finished the spreadsheet one and got the extra vote. And once I was done with that, I came back to the slab puzzle and I was like, I still can't do this at all. And when I first saw the slide puzzle, I was like, it would be so much easier if I could just take a screenshot of this and then put it in an image editing software and then just like cut and paste the pieces around.
That's so funny.
I don't see how that's easier.
Because I can't.
Well, then he doesn't have to solve the slide puzzle.
Oh, well, so you just get the solution, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how that's easier to actually finish. I thought you meant like to finish the puzzle.
Oh no!
No, he just he just cut it up and then made it into like a jigsaw puzzle type thing instead of a slide.
Exactly. And I was like, no, that feels like cheating. I shouldn't do that, and I dropped that idea. But eventually, when I came back to the advantage, I was like, there's still no way I can do a slide puzzle. Might as well message Annie and see if it's allowed, just to because you try everything, right? Everything's worth a shot. And surprisingly, I messaged Annie, and she's like, yeah, you can do that. And I was like, whoa, really? So I just did that. And that led to a TikTok, which I believe Quincy was already at. And it was just this, like, super random TikTok with Tony and then, like, Katie appearing out of nowhere. And I couldn't find anything from there. So I was like, okay, well... you have to try everything. So I tried just like messaging the TikTok to Katie, and it turns out, funnily enough, she had actually messed up. And
I did. Okay, technically that is my fault, but it's because we tested it like a day before and it worked.
Yeah, it just wasn't working for some reason. And so I texted it to Katie, and I think Quincy at this point had already texted Katie about it, and luckily enough, she had just like noticed the problem. And when I texted her, she like immediately texted me back with the next step in the clue.
Yeah, it was you, Quincy, and Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm curious about Sarah. Did she find it on her own, or did you tell her?
No, Sarah found it.
She found it, and she asked me. She said she couldn't find anything. So then I sent the second one, and she was like probably like a couple seconds away from sending the text.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah. So I actually wanted to talk about that. So basically, the next step in the clue was a TikTok saying, "Oh, type this whole random phrase out that makes you look really weird in the general chat, and you'll get an advantage." And I had, I think this was in the middle of some challenge, so half of my attention was split on that. And then the other half of my attention was focused on trying to type the whole thing out, because it was a long phrase. And for some reason in TikTok, you can't go backwards in the video, so every time, like, I tried to type it out and got a few words in, and then, like, Katie went ahead of me, I was like, well, I have to restart this whole thing. So I typed the whole thing out, and then for a good, like, I want to say a minute or two, I was trying to figure out a good cover story to send it with, like, what if I was part of a duck competition and this happened to me on my copy paste, or something like that. But I could not think of anything good to mask the totally random message that I was about to send. So at some point I was just like, I give up trying to think of a good cover story. I'm just gonna message it, and during a transition time, I think I was like, it was between a challenge and and the discussion of tribal council. And so it's like, I'll message it here now and hope that nobody notices it so that nobody like calls me out or anything. And I messaged it and I said something random like, oh, sorry, I was texting my friend and that happened to me. And I'm like, copy paste. And as I learned later, it was really good that I had messaged it when I did, because like Katie was saying, Sarah was seconds away from typing the same thing in herself.
I also want to explain my side of the story, because I know what was really going on here.
Okay.
I'll just quickly explain. Oh, at least what was happening from my side. So this advantage, I did not actually initially find. First, James told me about it in that call when he asked for help on the slide puzzle. So then, sorry, hold on. My family is arguing with the door open. I'll be right back. Sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back.
What was I? Yeah. So, okay, anyway. So, yeah, you told me about the slide puzzle. I quickly solved the slide puzzle, but then the image immediately disappeared once I solved it. So then I messaged Katie, and she sent me the image, but I was super confused because I thought that was the image that somehow linked back to the slide puzzle. So because I didn't know how James had gotten to the slide puzzle. So I was like, what? This isn't helpful. How am I going to get that image from the slide puzzle? So I was like very confused. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just retype this tiny URL in. And then it turned out to be the TikTok. And then I was stuck on the TikTok for like a good 10 minutes. I watched it like 20 times. And it was just playing this super loud Survivor music, and Katie was mouthing something, so I thought I had to figure out what she was saying. And I was super confused, so I kept messaging Katie, and it was like, I think both of us were like in the middle of doing things, so we were both sort of confused. And then finally we worked out, and she sent me a new link. And then James, yeah, I had to do the same thing with like, I typed out the whole message, and it was very annoying because I had to keep repeating the TikTok. Meanwhile, Sarah was telling me that she was working on the slide puzzle too, and she was like, Quincy, I found this advantage in this YouTube video, and I was like, oh, okay, well, now she knows about it too, but she was a little bit behind me at that point, and then I was like,
if she's on the slide puzzle when you're typing it out, I think she's more than
no, it wasn't that far behind, because I had finished the slide puzzle, and then there was at least one tribal council in between. I sort of forgot about it. Between the slide puzzle and the TikTok with that image. So she finished, I think I got to the TikTok a little bit before her because I was the first one to figure out what that issue was. But she told me like, oh, yo, I found this TikTok. I have to send this message and I don't know if I should do it. And I don't think she was actually going to do it. And I think my biggest regret is I think I typed that message out before you, James. I was like sitting on it for like a good 5 minutes, and I was like, should I send this? Sarah is definitely gonna know, and Dennis and James of course are gonna know, like, why is he sending this message? And I was like, well, if I send it, could I maybe share it with Sarah, because that's the only chance, because she'll know about it for sure, and I'm sure James will find it too. And I was like, shoot, what do I do? And I think I was actually planning to, after that tribal council, be like, Sarah, here, I'll cover for you so you don't have to send it. I'll do it, and then we can share the advantage. And then hopefully that would actually bind us together so we had a tight alliance, because we were working together, so it was good. But unfortunately, you sent it, and that I think is one of my biggest regrets, that I let you get that advantage. But
yeah,
oh well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, a small thing about the slide puzzle that I forgot to mention. That was one of the biggest hard reads of my game. Not the using an image editing software thing, but once the image was pieced together, like it's still really hard to tell where you're supposed to go because there's letters all over the image, like all over it.
Yeah.
Just like completely random letters. Like some of them formed words, but it just like made no sense. And I spent a little bit of time trying to like write down what each word said. But eventually I was like, this is stupid. I give up. I'm not trying to like decipher every single word in this image for like 10 minutes. And so like hard read. I was like hard read. The bolded the bolded letters in this image, reading top down, is a tinyURL, because that's how they've been doing every advantage since the start of this game. And I was like, tinyURL, and then I put in all the letters, and it actually led there. And I was like, boom, that is the craziest hard read of my game.
That is really funny.
Yeah, and I think it was very lucky that I sent it at that time, not only because obviously Quincy and Sarah also had access to it, but also because immediately afterwards I got sent to Exile Island, where I could find even more advantages, and it was nice. In my time in Exile, I saw various pieces of the clues, and I was just quickly trying to gather as many pieces as I could before my time in Exile ran out. And it was really lucky that I happened to come in at the time that I did, because several other people came in before me. And for whatever reason, like, I guess people just really could not figure out what to do. People literally were, like, leaving the pieces of the puzzle or the pieces of the clues in the chat. Even though it specifically says, like, hey, be careful what you say in this chat, because other people will be able to see it. And they just, like, I don't know what they were thinking, but, like, there were some people that put, like, all four pieces of both, actually, maybe not all four pieces of both clues, but definitely some clues that I was not able to find myself. I just, like, saw other people message, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just take that.
Funny.
Yeah, they really just typed out every single piece that was needed. It was hilarious.
And in my time in Exile, I was very easily able to pick up on the Pinterest link, which led to, I believe, Tyson's Idol.
Which Deniz already had.
I didn't know this at the time, but Deniz had actually found this idol way before me. And when I went to the hub, I swear on everything I know that the hub did not say this advantage has been found when I went there, which is silly because Deniz found it way before. But I just spent super long, like, doing the whole Tyson Idol. And when I finally finished it and submitted all the pieces, I hit submit, and the title changed to "This advantage has been found." I'm like, oh shoot. Does that mean I found it, or does that mean somebody found it before me while I was working on it? And I messaged Katie like, hey, did I get this thing? Please look at it. Blah blah blah. Like, I was like rapidly messaging Katie, and like it took her. I want to say it like took her like 30 seconds to respond, but in my head it took like 30 years. And she was like, I'm sorry, this has been found. I'm like, no, I spent all that time for nothing. But around midway through, when I was working on the Tyson Idol, I had the other clues for the I forget which idol it was.
Ozzy, I think?
The other idol on Exile. I had the other clues for it, but I just couldn't figure out how to put them together. But midway through the Tyson Idol, I was like, oh, obviously, I just had the sentence in the wrong words, and I figured out to go to an Urban Dictionary of from Aussie. That's right. It was Aussie. I went to Urban Dictionary, and I don't think anybody else had actually found this hub yet. So I was pretty safe there working on the various parts of Aussie's idol. But I was super paranoid throughout working on it, because I didn't want the same situation to happen with Tyson's idol. So like every 5 minutes I would reload the Aussie hub just to see if it changed to "This advantage has been found." But luckily that never happened. And in this idol path, I had one of the biggest hard read of my entire game. Actually, I wouldn't even call it a hard read. It was just like the luckiest guess I've had. RNG was really on my side this game. Basically, in one of the legs, you had to answer a bunch of trivia about the Jeffs, which was provided to you in a wiki. And most of the questions, I was just like reading the question and then going to the specific wiki page, because I hadn't read it all out before. I would read the question and then go to the wiki page and then use Control F and try to find the answer. But there were two questions. There was one about boba and one about Disney movies that were multiple choice. Not multiple choice, multiple answer. And I was like, I don't need to waste my time on this because I can just. I thought I had enough points from the rest of the questions because. You only need 14 out of 18 points on this trivia to successfully pass it. And I was like, I have enough points in the rest of the questions, so I can just skip this. And so on the Disney one and the Boba one, I just selected 3 completely random things.
That's so funny.
And when I submitted it, I had 13 out of 14 points because on a completely different question, I actually messed up and did not get the correct answer. But that one was very easily correctable because it was just a really easy one to correct. And then when I scrolled down and looked, I actually got all 3 of the Disney ones right. And I was like, oh my god, that's freaking crazy.
That's freaking crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
Because I just selected 3 random ones. I totally did not expect to get that correct, and I just did, and I was like, wow, that's really convenient for me.
Yeah.
And so I spent a good amount of time on that idol, and I finally finished it. And at that point in the game, when I finished working on that idol, that was pretty much the first time since the merge where I had been done with all advantages that I had on my table. Because merge onwards, I was pretty much working on advantages nonstop. I'd say the one point where I had a brief moment of surprise was once I finished working on the TikTok idol. There were a good 30 seconds to a minute before I got sent to Exile and continued working on idols there. But yeah, after merge, I really my social game and my challenge game really went way down because only a fraction of my attention was spent on those things, and the majority of my attention was spent working on the advantages. Okay. And I remember at one point on the Aussie Idol, there was a Morse code part, and I was like, there's no way I can figure this out while working on something else at the same time. So I just decided to just not do one of the challenges and work on that instead. And I think it paid off because I really did not feel like I was in danger for most of the merge. I knew that Quincy was a pretty close ally to me, and Deniz probably had my back as he probably wanted to use some of the advantages that I had, or potentially just work with me in general. Yeah. And so the 2 probably most powerful people in the game on my side, and I was not worried about it whatsoever. And again, it paid off because by the time I finished the Aussie Idol, I had 3 separate quote-unquote idols in my possession. I had the regular idol that worked past final 6 when somebody got added back into the game. I had my legacy advantage, which worked only on myself and worked at the pre-final 6 when people had not been put back into the game. And I had the evicted and restricted, which was from the TikTok. And I would have had the extra vote, but I gave it to Quincy as part of our deal. And again, big mistake on my part. I definitely put me at big risk when it came to Quincy's vote out. But luckily it did not end up mattering, so it was all good. Yeah. And I'm really proud of my advantage game because as far as I can tell, I got every single advantage that was available to me except for the extra vote that Quincy had just gotten before me. There was a hint to another extra vote to the last person that stayed in a call, or the last person to stay in the general chat.
Yeah, Deniz talked about that one.
Yeah. There was that one, which I was like, I don't need this hint for whatever it is. I'd rather just spend my time trying to strategize.
Surprised me. I'm gonna be honest, James. That's a big surprise to me.
What do you mean?
Because I mean, for somebody who played like an advantage-centric game, who like took their social game out of it and was like, my advantages are more important than like being fully there while strategizing and being social. I feel like that's the exact advantage that would make sense for if I was doing that to stay for.
Well, it's just, I don't know. At the time, I was like, I already have, like, so many advantages, like, at my feet. Because I believe at that point, I was still working on both the Shakespeare one and the Slab Puzzle one. And I was like, I think that at this point in the game, because I believe it was, like, early merge. At this point in the game, I'd rather just figure out what's going on, because the way I was playing it at that point was just like being told who to vote for and then voting for them, obviously. And I felt like if I was out of the loop in this point of the game, then I easily put a target on myself, because especially since all of this game I was playing like very, very paranoid, and I believed that like anybody could be gunning for me at any moment. Even though earlier I did say that I felt pretty safe, I still did not want to give people that easy of an opportunity to take me out. And so I just felt like, since I already had advantages to work on, and I did not want people like strategizing behind my back, I just felt like I could let somebody else take it, because I really thought, and another contributing factor to it was that if more than 3 people stayed in the call for like the duration of the talking time, no one would get the advantage. I really thought that people would just be going hard for the advantage, and that nobody would get it anyways. And so just all of those factors combined, I was just like, it's not worth trying to go for this thing, because there's a low chance that I'm going to get it anyways. I don't really need it, and I'd rather not have people strategizing behind my back. But surprisingly enough, Deniz did get that clue. I'm assuming he told the story of like how everybody else left and nobody reconvened with you. And yeah, that was actually kind of a shock to me, but it ended up just being an extra vote, so it wasn't really a big deal for me.
You just give those away for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't need those at all. Like,
I mean, they turned out not super useful, because even with 2, I still got voted out.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Should have begged me for 1.
Like you would have. Okay, whatever.
I would not have.
I'm
not as weak-willed as James here.
Also
and obviously, Deniz got the other Exile Idol way before me, but again, I did not realize that, so I did all the work for that one.
Yeah.
And so I basically worked on every advantage in the game except for that one where I had to wait in the call. And that was a pretty proud moment for me.
One thing, one Easter egg, sort of, I want to share, or this is not really an Easter egg, but a funny moment. When I was working on the one of the ones, the extra vote, the post-merge extra vote. So basically, you got a bunch of letters, and then you had to figure out what the last word, like the final word, was. So I had the letters C blank R O blank. No. C blank R O N blank, and then I had like, I don't remember exactly, but like G blank blank PH or something. And I thought, I was trying to figure out what could this word, or like what could this string be, and I just tried to guess, and the one thing I could think of was coronograph. So I guessed coronograph, and then Annie responded, "I have no idea where you got that, but that's not it." The actual answer was chronograph. but my guess was Coronograph. So that was a very fun moment.
Close.
Yes, it was close. I did eventually get it, but James had already found it then. So there you go.
I actually didn't have all the letters either. I had something like Chrononaph or something like that. But I was just like, I'm going to plug this into Google and see what it autocorrects as. And
I tried to do that too. I didn't have enough letters, though, clearly, because when I plugged it in, it did not work.
Corrected to Coronograph.
No, it just didn't have a result, I think. I don't remember. Yeah.
So, we've talked a lot, like about an hour, so I'm going to ask a couple of closing questions, I guess. Because we went a long time on the advantages, so
yes,
I'll ask a couple more.
An hour? Yeah. Shame.
Yeah, this is going to be like a 2-hour long podcast, so... Whoops.
Yeah. These questions kind of coincide, but, like, how did this game compare to your other games? Like, how did you improve upon your previous games? And, like, what are some things you would change about your game? So,
Can you repeat that one more time for me?
Okay. How did this game compare to your other games? How did you improve upon your previous games and your previous strategies? And then, what are some things you would change?
I can start. I would say, compared to my last game, I feel like I've really only had this game and then the last game, because Season 1 was completely different, and I did not make it at all far. So I don't even consider that a real game, because I don't want to live with that horribleness. I apologize for that music in the background. What is that noise? So sorry. But anyway, I think based on last game, as many people know, I took advantage of using the pre-gaming strat, and as a result, I had a lot of number 1 allies, and I felt like I had a lot of control that game. So the huge difference was that I think because of the last game, I was considered a really big threat, and also I think I felt so weird without control. Like I felt like I had a fair amount of control pre-merge, even though I was actually blindsided at one vote. But then post-merge, I was just constantly panicked and just trying to keep the vote off me. So I don't think I really improved much at all. I do think that it was nice to get an experience where I didn't have pre-gaming going in. And it was fun to sort of like try to just improvise and like see what I could do in the game. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I did a great job. I didn't have a lot of control on what was happening. I think the biggest regrets of mine would be 2 things. I played too much with my emotions in that I didn't try to get out Dennis or James earlier. I still wouldn't have gotten them out or tried to get them out pre-merge, but like maybe I could have tried to get Dennis or James out earlier post-merge, although I doubt it would have worked because I didn't have much control. And then also so that was, sorry, I said playing with emotions, and then also in that sense, not voting out Audie or Talia, 2 people that I was super excited that they were playing Survivor for the first time, and I had gotten involved. And I didn't want to vote out, and I wanted them to have a good time, even though it was clear that we were not really working together, and they were both sort of working more with Dennis. I didn't want to go for them at all. And then, sorry for taking so long to answer, one last thing, playing too conservatively. I never really pushed to get out anyone except KDR because it seemed like she was pitted against me post-merge. But other than that, I was just like, whoever you want. And I think that was a big mistake because I ended up losing a lot of allies that I could have worked with post-merge. But overall, still a ton of fun, and my advantage game was also very fun, and yes, it was epic.
I can go. I think, personally, I revere this as my I think I revere is a weird word to use there. I feel that this was my best game so far. I definitely think I improved a lot of the aspects that I had problems with in the past, and I did a good job setting up things I want to do and making the moves I want to make. And I had advantages for the first time in my Survivor life.
Yeah.
And didn't need them, but I had them. And I think the biggest thing that caused me problems was I really was setting this idea of like pre-games. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get out Quincy, and then I'm gonna look for getting out James. And it was this order thing of it was like Quincy, then James, Quincy, then James, and it was like the more I was like working out Quincy and just taking away people, which was, I mean, it worked in that I got all these people that would have voted with Quincy out of the game, and he had to beg Chloe to try to get one vote.
Yeah.
So that strategy definitely worked, but it just pushed back everything so much because I was like Quincy, then James. And I think I really could have just taken out Quincy earlier.
Yeah, I was surprised how late I was voted out. Oh, sorry.
And I don't know if it was an emotional thing, but maybe there was a hint of that, but I think it was more of a... I think a lot of people get stuck in this idea of there's a way of the world. There's a certain pecking order, and you're supposed to go up the pecking order. And I kind of got stuck in that idea of let me take away power from Quincy without taking away Quincy. But I could have just taken away Quincy.
Hey, it's not clear that you could have just so easily voted me out. You don't know.
Alexander, I think I could have taken out you.
Yep, you're probably right. I think Final 7 I probably could have been taken out. But I'd like to think or hope that before then I would not have been.
I mean, there was a definitely emotional aspect of not voting for James, but the thing is, that didn't matter in the end because any time that I would have voted for him would have been after Quincy was out, and each of those times he was immune. So nothing in my life was slightly off-putting wanting to get out James. Because, I mean, I don't think it was emotional as much as it was like, I don't need to get him out. I believed that I stood a chance to get him against him, and that at some point when I got to Final 5, I was like, if I lose that Final 4 challenge for fire making, I want it to be maybe possible that I don't get put in if there are 2 other threats. But I don't think there was any scenario where I don't get put in.
Yeah, so, I don't think so.
I mean, maybe if Chloe wins, she takes...
I think in my mind... I think in my mind... Oh, sorry.
Start to beg.
Oh my god, no begging. Don't copy my strat.
Works so perfectly.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Were you gonna say something, Quincy? Sorry.
I forget. I was going to say something, but I don't remember. So go for it, James. Go for it. I don't remember what I was going to say.
Well, like I've already said, I am very, very proud of the game I played. I basically accomplished every single goal I wanted to coming into the game, except for working with newcomers. I regretfully, in my first tribe, Xander approached me first, and I was like, okay, well, an ally's an ally, right? And I wasn't going to be like, no, you can't work with me because I want to work with these new people. So I was working with Xander most of the time in our first tribe, and it actually got kind of scary because our tribe got thinned out to 3 people, whereas the other 2 tribes had 6 each. And so obviously, when your tribe gets thinned out to 3 people, you're going to be pretty tight, but also there weren't really any people that I could work with because they were all voted out. And come swap, I was put in a tribe that was separate than my other 2 original tribe mates, and so obviously I couldn't work with them. And one of my tribe mates just got immediately voted out with Faye. The only chance I had of working with the underclassmen, she got immediately voted out, and I was in this tribe where I was kind of under the control of Quincy, and it's kind of lucky that Quincy didn't want to vote me out pre-merge, because I had absolutely no power in that tribe whatsoever. I was kind of just following Quincy's orders and voting for who Quincy told me to. Going into the game, I really wanted to make a move on Quincy and take out Quincy. Similarly to Deniz, in my head, I was very much like Quincy, then Deniz. Quincy, then Deniz.
I hate you guys.
And I had no real options to take out Quincy come the swap. Even when Quincy was blindsided, I was also blindsided because he was my only ally and nobody told me of this. I had no idea what was happening. And so yeah, I was just kind of under Quincy's thumb there and not really working with anybody else. Not for lack of trying. It's just like they were clearly already in an alliance, and I was the one on the outside. And so then, come merge, I basically, like I already said, was working on advantages the whole time. So while I think I could have potentially scrambled and tried to get as many allies on my side as possible to take out Quincy than Deniz, I was much more focused on working on the idols because that's what I wanted to do. And so that just left me as still a pawn, but at this point I was a pawn for either Quincy or Deniz. And so yeah, eventually Deniz was working on taking out Quincy's allies, and in the crossfire, or actually not in the crossfire, but because of that, my biggest ally in the game, I'd say, that I wanted to take to the end, or was planning to at least, Xander got taken out, and I was like, welp, there goes one of my biggest allies. And then the rest of Quincy's allies got taken out, which was not a big deal for me, but still a little scary, because I definitely talked to Quincy more, even though I felt I was more on Deniz's side. I talked to Quincy more, and I felt he was tighter to me than Deniz was. But again, I had this whole mentality of trying to take Quincy out wherever possible. And so, slowly but surely, eventually, I was like, okay, it's final six. It's my last chance to play some of these advantages. I want to try to make a big play right now and just idol whoever Quincy is going for, and we'll take out Quincy. And luckily, Deniz had the same exact idea as me, and we went into that and took out Quincy. And then from there, again, I was done with all my advantages, so I could actually work on the social game. But unfortunately, at this point, it was pretty much everybody was on Deniz's side at this point. As far as I remember, it was Talia, Audie, Deniz, Sheer, and Chloe, and me. And Sheer, I'd say, was the only one that I could potentially take under my side. Everybody else was very loyal to Deniz, and I could tell. And I think it was too late in the game to try and make a difference there. But luckily, I was like, okay, I'll just pop off in these challenges. And I did that. And from pre-Final 6 to Final 3, I was immune the whole way through and had absolutely no chance of Deniz blindsiding me. And I did try to blindside Deniz once, but again, I had realized that it was not worth it, or it was not possible whatsoever, just because everybody was with Deniz at this point, so I gave up on that strategy. And luckily enough, come Final 4, he lost the fire-making challenge, which gave me an immense boost in the Final 3, because at this point I felt like I just had no competitors in Final 3 and felt like I could easily take this home. And yeah, going into the game, like I said, I wanted to take out Quincy first, then Deniz, and both of them got taken out. Find a bunch of advantages. I did that. And win challenges. And I won some of the most important challenges in the game. So, all in all, I'd say I played the game exactly how I wanted to, and I won, even though I did not have the strongest social game, and I'm very, very proud of that in general. I'd say, the few things that I'd want to improve on next time, probably focusing on advantages less, because I think even though it was fun, it was something that slowed me down overall.
Yeah.
And not to make panic deals like the one I made with Quincy, because that gave him more power than I needed him to have. And so, just in general, being more on top of the game, I guess, or the alliance game in general. And so yeah, I feel like I played a pretty good game, though, and I won because of it, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, James placed first, Dennis lost in firemaking and placed fourth, and I placed seventh. So, yeah.
I think that's a good place to end. So if anyone wants to say anything else about their game, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm just excited for the next one.
If there is a next one.
Hopefully.
When there
Dun,
is
dun, dun.
I also, to anyone who is still listening, I want to say thank you so much for listening to all of this. This is a very long podcast, we know.
Yeah.
Lots of good Survivor rants going on. So if you made it this far, then wow, you are epic.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. Sorry for all the rants. As you can tell, we're all very passionate about Survivor. And yeah, any final words, guys?
Yes, since you guys have made it so far in this podcast, you get a little reward from
Oh my god.
the next game. Ooh, make sure to text Ben, diddly-doo Damboo for an advantage in the next upcoming Survivor game.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll have
Please
no
don't
idea.
do that.
Thank you
I don't
guys.
think you guys have a part of the next game. You can't decide what the...
Yeah, I don't know what James
I
is
think
talking about.
that's not your authority to decide whether or not that's an actual
Oh,
advantage.
you're talking to us. Okay, sorry. Maybe James is in on something. So then
you're going, don't do that.
you can do it. You can do it. It's up to you.
Yeah, you have a right to make that decision yourself.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Did someone just join?
Annie just...
Hi, Annie.
Hi, Annie.
We're recording our podcast right now.
Well, we're almost done.
Yeah.
So.
Done recording our podcast, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you guys.
Anyways, thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next normal length episode.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Bye, guys.